Welcome back, everyone. In this lecture, we'll go through some exercise problems on histogram equalization, and we'll see the drawbacks of histogram equalization. In the previous lecture, we derived the expression for histogram equalization. Now we'll see an example for equalization. First problem. Perform histogram equalization on an 8 level 64 cross 64 image with gray values from 0 to 7 and NK values 790, 1023, 850, 656, 329, 245, 122 and 81 respectively. So the task is to illustrate histogram equalization on the image with NK values as given, and it is a 8 level image, so the value will be obviously from 0 to 7. This is the intensity level 0 to 7 because it's 8 level, and it's a 64 cross 64 image. That means total number of pixels will be 64 into 64, that will be 4096. And if you add these pixel values up, 790, 1023 and so on till 81, if you add these things up, it will be 4096. That you should check. Okay, so let's do the problem. So first we'll create a table to get the details of the input image. So k 0 to 7, and then we'll write the nk values, which is also given. So nk values is 790, 850 and 0, 790 for 0, 1023 for 1, 850 for 2 and so on. Okay, so this is the details given. So if you add up nk, it will be 4096. Next we'll write the rk values. Rk value is basically normalized value. So levels, we are normalizing the gray levels. So it is 0, 1 by 7, maximum value is 7. So you divide the k value by 7, you will get a normalized value, which is the rk here. So 6 by 7 and 1 is the maximum. And you can also normalize this nk value. Okay, so nk value divided by 4096 will give you the normalized value, which is p of rk. So p of rk is nk by n. So you calculate it and you will get these values. Okay, and we need to notice that or we need to keep in mind that output value should also be in the range 0 to 0, 1 by 7, 2 by 7 up till 1. Okay, so this range should be preserved. This is the second step of the problem, where we are drawing the histogram of the input image. So input image, we are just drawing the nk values for a given gray level. So 0 to 7, and this is the, on the y-axis we have number of pixels having a particular gray level, which is nk versus k. And also you can write it uh, using normalized values. So both x and y-axis are normalized, if you can see. So x-axis 0 to 1 is the maximum, 0 to 1, normalizing the x-axis, which is rk values, and y-axis also normalized nk values. Okay, so if you add up all these components, it will be 1. So this is just representing the input image histogram. Now we'll apply the transformation in the third step to obtain the equalized pixel values. Uh, so this is the transformation we'll apply here. Sk equal to T of Rk, which is equal to summation of P in of Rj for j value 0 to k, and k varies from 0 to L minus 1. So let's start applying the transformation. So S naught is the T of R naught, which is P in of Rj, so which is equal to P in of R naught. P in of R naught is 0.19, and 0.19 can be approximated to 1 by 7. So if you calculate 1 by 7, it's somewhere near 0.19. Okay, so this is a approximation to the nearest level. And keep in mind, this is a digital image and it can have only finite number of levels, and for this example we can only have 8 levels, which is 0, 1 by 7, 2 by 7, 3 by 7, up to 1, which is 7 by 7. Next, S1 can be calculated like this one: T of R1, which is equal to summation P in of Rj, which is equal to it's a CDF function, if you recall. So P in of R0 plus P in of R1. So you add P in of R0 plus P in of R1, you get 0.44, which is somewhere near to 3 by 7 level. So we'll approximate it to 3 by 7 level. Okay, you just calculate a 3 by 7 value. It falls somewhere near 0.77, 0.44. Okay. Next, S2 is T of R2, which is the summation P in of Rj. J is from 0 to 2 here, so you need to add P in of R0 plus P in of R1 plus P in of R2, which is equal to 0.65. And if you check, okay, you will get the level near to 5 by 7. And similarly, if you uh, do the computation for S3, you will get 0.81, which is somewhere near 6 by 7 level. And S4, it's 0.89, again it is somewhere near 6 by 7 level. And S5 is 0.95 and it is nearest to 7 by 7 or 1. And S6 is 0.98, you can approximate it to 1. And S7 is again 1. So these are the levels, and if you note, there are only 5 distinct gray levels in the output image. So these levels specify the output image. So the levels are 1 by 7, 1 by 7, and I'll take the pen here. So levels are 1 by 7, 3 by 7, 5 by 7, 6 by 7. Okay, we have two mappings, S3 and S4 map to 6 by 7, and we have 1. Okay, so S5, S6 and S7, they map to 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels in the output image. So there are only 5 distinct gray levels in the output image. So this is what we obtained in the from the transformation after equalization. Now we'll represent it in a table. So you can plot the table. First you can plot the k value like this. There are only 5 levels, so you can write it as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 levels, and sk values corresponding to those 5 levels are 1 by 7. Okay, 1 by 7 is here, and 3 by 7 here. Okay, and 5 by 7 here, and 6 by 7, these two map to 6 by 7. Okay, and then these three map to 1. Next is we should write the nk values for those corresponding levels. Now this is the tricky part here, so concentrate. So nk is first up is 1 by 7 level, and 1 by 7 level takes the gray values from S0. S0, which is equal to T of R0, takes the gray values of R0. So R0 is basically 790, if you recall from the problem. Okay, so just take the R0 values and we'll write it for S0. Okay, next 3 by 7 takes the values from R1. Okay, S1 is T of R1, so R1 values will be assigned to 3 by 7 level. So R1 value is 1023. Okay, so that is the second level. uh, Third is 5 by 7. 5 by 7 takes the value from R2. R2 value, if you recall, is 850. Okay, so just put the R2 value, whichever was there in the problem, you write it here. Next one is 6 by 7 level, and 6 by 7 level maps to R3 plus R4. So you need to add up the pixel values uh, mentioned for R3 and R4 and add them up, okay, and write it here. So if you add them up, you will get 985. Okay, so that is for 6 by 7. And finally for this level 1, it maps to R5, R6 and R7. Now if you add the pixel values for R5, R6 and R7, you will end up with 448. Okay, so this completes the NK value column. Now this one is like this is the final level and pixel representation for that particular level. Now if you add these values up, it will be equal to 64 into 64, which is equal to 4096. This is a cross check for you. Okay, you always check this should add up to 4096 for this given problem. Next you can write the P of sk value, which is nk by n. Again you are just normalizing. N is 4096, it won't change. So PFSK for 7 int it's 0.19, 1023 is 0.25, 850 it's 0.21, and 985 it's 0.24, and 448 is 0.11. So this completes the output image table. Last step is to draw the histogram for the output image. So with the transformation that we have done, the output image will have the histogram like this. This is the output image histogram. We are mentioning only the levels that have values. So 1 by 7 we have the value, 3 by 7 here, 5 by 7, 6 by 7 and 1. 5 levels in the output, and for 0 level and 2 and 4 we don't have any representation. We'll mark it as 0, but 1 will have 790 pixels, 3 will have 1024 pixels, and 5 and 6 and 7 will have representation as we obtained in the previous table. So this is the final step of our problem. This completes the problem. And to observe the trend here, uh, this histogram output image is only uh, equalized approximately. Okay, it's not exactly uniform. In the derivation we said that it will be equalized uniformly, but here it won't. You can see it's not a uniform distribution, and this is because we are considering a discrete case here, and the theorem we in the derivation we considered a continuous case, and there is no result that claims uniformity in the discrete case. So this is okay for us. Okay, this is a discrete case and small variation like this is fine. Second example for histogram equalization. So this is the question. Perform histogram equalization on a 8-bit 82 cross 100 image with the following details. So you have this k and nk values given like this, and if you add those nk values up, okay, you will get 8200, which is equal to 82 into 100. So this adds up. So the first task is to complete that table. Okay, so I expect you to do it on your own, so I'll give you just a brief overview or what we should get. So first create the table. Okay, so once you do the table, you plot the histogram for input image. So this is the input image histogram. After you do this, move to the second part of equalization. First we'll consider this equation. This is the equation for histogram equalization. So we'll apply that for S0 and obtain the values, so as we did in the previous problem. S0, S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, S6 and S7. You can pause and check for the values, or else you do I recommend you to do the problem on your own and then later check the values. So this should be the output histogram. You draw the output histogram table also, as we did in the previous problem, and then plot the histogram of the output image, okay, after equalization. So this is the second problem. So let's see the example of applying that histogram equalization. So this is the original image and its histogram. You can see this is a blurry image, and its histogram is concentrated on the left hand side. It's concentrated and it's dark image because it's on the left hand side, right? So this is a dark image and low contrast image. Now if you perform histogram equalization on this image, uh, this is the output. So this is a image with improved contrast, and let's look at its histogram. It's fairly equalized, okay. So you have representation for all the levels, and it is not as much concentrated, or it's not at all concentrated like in the original image. So this is the effect of performing histogram equalization. Image histogram equalization may not always work. There are some drawbacks, okay. So if the histogram is very narrow of an input image, then it may result in undesirable results, okay, and it can also produce false edges and regions. In some cases it can also increase image graininess and patchiness. So let's see what we mean by all these things in the next example. Let's consider this example as input image. So this is an image with white background and coins on top of it, and as you can guess, this image is a bright image, and the contrast is also not good. So the histogram will look like this. So more components located on the brighter side, around 230 235, you have more components located, and remaining in all areas you have low values. And you see a small bump here that basically shows this coin surface. It's not totally dark, okay. So the value is around 100, but the intensity is not that much, okay. So the pixels are fairly evenly distributed with a small bump around this 100 intensity level 100. Now if you perform histogram equalization on this image, this is the result. You can see it had made the image worse. Original image was much better than the equalized image. So this is the problem with histogram equalization. It may not work on all images, okay. So look at the histogram for this. So uh, it has somewhat equalized it, but still the result is not good. And even the histogram equalization, you can see we still don't get the representation for lower values, okay. It's very less. So this is the major drawback of histogram equalization. And to correct this, we have one more technique, which is histogram specification, that we will see in the next lecture. So in this lecture we have looked at some exercise problems on histogram equalization and drawbacks of histogram equalization. So in the next lecture we'll learn about histogram matching or specification. Thank you. See you at the next lecture.